section of the third Mainland bridge in Lagos opened midnight. Plus, update on meeting between federal government and organised labour over electricity tariff. This is Panorama live on the network service of the NTA. I'm Ian Ray John. Welcome. Motorists and other road users are at this moment plying the completed section of the third Mainland bridge in Lagos, which was opened to traffic midnight. Dotun Guyemi, who was on the bridge at the time of the opening, reports that motorists are being encouraged to cooperate with traffic management personnel and exercise patience as work on the second phase of the project, shut down for commencement of repairs, is expected to be completed in 3 months.
After a successful 18-hour total closure of the third Mainland bridge, allowing the contractor to move its equipment from the completed carriageway to the island-bound carriageway, work is now set to commence for another 3 months for the second phase of the repairs. And at midnight, the barricades were placed, forcing motorists to make the hard but necessary decision to turn, as another partial closure of the third Mainland bridge is now effective.
And this is what we are seeing. So the vehicle will now be diverting from here up to that vehicle you see is now going to the island. It's coming right from the Oworonsoki and it's going to the island. So that's exactly what we are going to achieve from this moment. We could have completed this project a month ago, but because of that protest, we had a delay of about 1 month. But if there is no any delay, definitely we are going to achieve the completion of this project in February 2021.
The Federal Controller of Works noted that all alternative routes and time schedule for morning and evening traffic diversions remain, as the Federal Road Safety Corps and other traffic management agencies will be on ground to ensure seamless flow of traffic during the period. In Lagos, Dotun Guyemi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Abia state government is urging the federal government to take advantage of the onset of dry season and get contractors handling federal roads back on site to end the hardship being faced by commuters because of the current state of the roads. Governor Okezie Ekpeazu, who made the appeal in Umuahia, said the situation is crippling business activities in the state. Chinyere Okoli has details.
Some of the federal roads in Abia in deplorable conditions include the Aba-Ikotekmene Highway, Umuahia-Ikotekmene Road inside Umuahia Town, the Umuahia-Osisioma-Sanne into segment of Enugu-Port Harcourt Highway, and the Bend-Ohafia Road. Others are the Umuahia-Ohafia Road, a Sanne into Oyibo segment of Enugu-Port Harcourt Road, among others. Governor Ikpeazu urged contractors handling those roads projects to take advantage of 3 or 4 months dry season window to complete as many as ongoing projects as possible, adding that his administration has completed 97 state roads with some due inauguration before the middle of December.
We cannot allow our people to continue to suffer. We cannot allow our people to continue to die and get asphyxiated, because the oxygen of trade and commerce is access. If we can't get Akwa Ibom people coming to Abia, we can't get Port people coming to Umuahia, then what other thing we are trying to do within the city will continue to generate economic tension, and we don't want that.
Towards tackling crime in Abia, Governor Ikpeazu said 20 new innocent brand patrol vehicles have been procured for security agencies in the state to replace those destroyed during the hijack EndSARS protest, as well as improve the speedy response capacity of the agencies. In Umuahia, Chinyere Okoli, NTA News.
To other matters now, the meeting to resolve pending issues of the twin increase in electricity and petroleum prices has ended in deadlock, as members of the organised labour stormed out from the meeting held on Sunday in Abuja over misunderstanding regarding the new price increase for premium motor spirit.
The process of discussing for over 3 months now, and they made an announcement increasing the fuel price again. And no other person than NNPC, when has authority been given to NNPC to increase the price of PMS? This is unacceptable. The meeting agenda is not well prioritized. We are going front and back, a meeting that's supposed to have been concluded within 2 weeks and we'll be able to report back to the masses. So we cannot continue with.
When the government is willing to take it the way it is, we are ever ready to serve our country, to engage, and to have things properly determined.
What next now, GS?
We have to go back to our organs.
Already a circulated agenda for the meeting, they have it. And in a meeting, if you want to change the agenda, everybody will agree. That is how meetings proceedings go. So there was no consensus addendum on that, and we felt that the item of increase in PMS, having been listed at all as an additional item, would have satisfied everybody. So on that note, say that they are calling for a recess.
So what's next?
Next is for me to invite them, and I intend to do so within the next 24 hours.
And now talking politics, Zenith Labour Party has endorsed the renomination of Professor Mahmood Yakubu as the chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission. National chairman of the party, Dan Mayawu, while addressing journalists at the party's national secretariat in Abuja, says Professor Mahmood's renomination is good for Nigeria's democracy. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
Political analysts say the strength of a nation's democracy depends largely on the freedom and strength of its electoral institutions. From 1999, when Nigeria returned to democracy, the country's electoral umpire has played various roles in ensuring the sustenance of democracy.
Who do not want.
However, Zenith Labour Party believes that as Nigeria's democracy grows, so as its electoral umpire, particularly under the Buhari administration, hence the need for political parties to rally support for government's desire for electoral sanity.
If you follow the conduct of election, you cannot but agree with me that we have moved forward from what it used to be. I'm talking about the system whereby you vote, political parties and observers will start a place and be seeing the result coming. And we have been assured in the last meeting with INEC that it will improve in Anambra. I don't think there's any group that can speak authoritatively on this matter other than the critical stakeholders. And the critical stakeholders are the political parties.
He appealed to the 9th National Assembly to support President Buhari's determination of building a legacy of a vibrant electoral system and promotion of inclusive politics by ensuring the reappointment of former INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Similarly, the Inter-Party Advisory Council says the present administration's culture of consistency and improvement of electoral integrity must be supported by well-meaning Nigerians. Chairman of the council, Dr. Leonard Nzenwa, at a media briefing in Abuja, resolved to ensure that stakeholders and forces bent on eroding gains made in the electoral process and system are checked. Timothy Yusuf reports.
With broader effort to improve the electoral process and ensures that the country continues to have inclusive, peaceful, credible, free, fair, and transparent poll remains the priority of the Inter-Party Advisory Council since inauguration into office.
We have related with the umpire INEC over the last few months, and we can say very clearly that INEC has done respectably very well. When I say respectably very well, I'm not saying the umpire has no challenges or has not made some mistakes, but we can say conclusively they have posted some good results.
While recommitting to work harmoniously with all stakeholders, including the Independent National Electoral Commission, the Council enjoined Nigerian youth to be agents of positive change in the nation's quest towards improving the lot of the citizenry. A group of Nigerian women under the banner of Northern Women Peace Forum similarly condemned the violence that accompanied the recent EndSARS protest in major cities across the country, calling on the youth to find better ways of channeling their grievances.
Based on all the crises that have been going on, we are really saddened.
The women promised to ensure that the country continues to mobilize towards promoting peace for national development. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NT News.
And now, talking health, more than 3,000 indigent persons and other citizens of Kaba community are to benefit from free medical outreach courtesy of International Donor Agency. Charles Alpha reports that federal lawmaker representing the area, Tajuddin Yusuf, who initiated the venture, said it is part of his contribution to his constituents and humanity as a whole.
Both young and the aged with mild and chronic ailments presented themselves for the free clinical services facilitated by an illustrious son and member representing Kaba in Ijemo Federal Constituency, Tajuddin Yusuf in Kaba, Kogi State. Cases of malaria, diabetes, hypertension, eye problem, respiratory tract infections, allergies, and malnutrition were presented.
We found out that the majority of the participants here today are middle-aged people within the age of about 45 to 65 years of age. And among this demographic, we've realized that most times things like hypertension, diabetes, and such illnesses form the majority amongst them.
The challenges of accessing good healthcare system, particularly in rural communities, perhaps underline the high number of persons who throng to benefit from the free medical outreach. The feeling of relief and radiance on their faces sum up their level of happiness, the amount of money saved from spending in the hospital, as well as time and well-being the outreach has afforded them.
Actually, I came here when I heard about the program. So, fortunately, I complained about my health, which is my eyes, and also how I eat. So, thank God they gave me the drug free of charge.
For Representatives Tajuddin Yusuf and partners, it was a fulfilling of commitments made, the faith kept by the people, and the desire to create a healthy environment.
In as far all of us know what we are passing through in terms of this, our economy, no fund here and there. So I think it's another way to help our people.
About 500 persons were attended to on day one of the 3-day free medical outreach in Kaba, with plans to extend to other communities in the coming weeks. From Kaba, Kogi State, Charles Alpha, NTA News.
16 years after setting aside year 2020 for all countries to achieve 90-90-90 target aimed at suppressing HIV/AIDS virus, if the world must end HIV/AIDS in 2030. Nigeria is among the countries lagging behind. This is in spite of government and donor agency support. This necessitated a retreat for the management staff and board members of National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, to brainstorm on how to make the agency more efficient in terms of their mandate. Basi Ita Ekbank reports.
The United Nations 90-90-90 targets see for less starts. By 2020, 90% of all people living with HIV will know their status. 90% of everybody diagnosed will be placed on treatments. And 90% of the people receiving treatments will have viral suppression.
All hands are on deck. But why is Nigeria lagging? We have a dual epidemic. One that is declining in the general population, and the other that is raging among the key affected population.
Retreat for NACA management staff is therefore timely.
We're having the opportunity to sit among ourselves, to interact, to be guided by experts.
Security situation in the country and accessibility is seen as some of the reasons Nigeria is yet to achieve the targets.
But the good news is we're making appreciable progress. From last year to now, over 500 new cases have been identified and have been linked to treatment, which in itself gives us the confidence.
Although gains in access and treatments continue, many countries and regions are unlikely to achieve the 90-90 target. Basi Taikban, NTA News.
If you just joined us, you're watching Panorama live on the network service of the NTA. Time for a break. Do stay.
The recent
genuine concerns and agitations by Nigerians about the excessive use of force and, in some cases, extrajudicial killings and wrongful conduct by means of the Nigerian police force. The disbanding of SARS is only the first step in our commitment to extensive police reform in order to ensure that the primary duty of the police and other law enforcement agencies remains the protection of lives and livelihoods of our people. We will also ensure that all those responsible for misconduct or wrongful acts are brought to justice. We also deeply regret the loss of life of the young man in Oyo State during the recent demonstrations. I have directed that the circumstances of his death should be thoroughly investigated. Meanwhile, it is important to recognize that the vast majority of men and women of the police force are hardworking and diligent in performing their duties. The few bad eggs should not be allowed to tarnish the image and reputation of the force.
The Council of Our Fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. All visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can.
Thank you for staying. There's increasing focus on the use of science and technology in agricultural production to attain food sufficiency. For journalists who have promoted this cause through their reports, it's time to receive some accolades, courtesy of the Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology in Africa in the 2020 edition of the Author Media Award. Anengie Fanface brings us details.
Journalists go about gathering and disseminating information on a daily basis to see that society becomes better for it. But in this auditorium are journalists who are not telling stories. They are seated as guests, as dignitaries, to be honored for their hard work and service to humanity.
I've covered biotech for a while, and I believe that
for Nigeria to actually achieve its goal of food sufficiency, we really need to embrace and adopt, the application of biotechnology.
A challenge for me to do more, to continue to do solution-driven stories, evidence-based reports.
Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology in Africa, the National Biotechnology Development Agency and Africa Agricultural Technology Foundation are jointly celebrating journalists who have distinguished themselves in science, technology and agriculture reporting.
NABDA shall continue to support journalists in the quest for knowledge and with technology. We know that science journalism is new and a bit difficult, but we are determined to guide it to ensure that they need knowledge and exposure the state of our work to be made available to everybody.
Join us at Profile as we continue to advocate for the deployment of science and technology towards transforming agriculture on the continent and Nigeria in particular.
As expected, award recipients are encouraged to continue to excel in a profession designed to set the balance in society. Onengiye Fine Face, NTA News.
In other news, the federal government is asking DJ Switch to come forward with evidence against the military in the Lekki tollgate shooting and refrain from acts that could put the country in a bad light before the world.
Made their broadcast on the Lekki tollgate massacre report, DJ Switch was very prominent.
In the midst of the chaotic scenes is DJ Switch. He is broadcasting live on Instagram.
I wanted people to see what was happening. I didn't want anybody.
DJ Switch, real name Obianuju Catherine Ude, a female Nigerian DJ and musical artist. Born in Udi town in Enugu State, she had the better part of her life in Warri Delta State. She later moved to Abuja before relocating to Lagos. Information has it that she is the last child in a family of 8 children, and she is understood to have acquired a degree in geology from the University of Port Harcourt. Her fame began when she emerged the winner of the maiden and only edition of the Glow X Factor talent show. Obianuju Catherine Ude, aka DJ Switch, aside from being a DJ, is also a rapper, singer, and songwriter. Obianuju Catherine Ude featured in 2018 CNN editorial titled Nigeria's Female DJs Spinning Against Stereotype. A single parent with a 15-year-old daughter, she left her paying job with an oil company to pursue a career in entertainment. An active participant on social media, she was a star participant of the EndSARS protests. With the federal government appealing to Nigerians to approach the panel of inquiry to seek redress, DJ Switch has fled the country.
Instead of presenting whatever evidence she may have to the judicial panel, she chose to escape from the country under the pretext that her life was in danger. I ask, in danger from who? The military has come out to say they never sought after her. To the best of our knowledge, the police never declared her wanted. Her conduct thus becomes suspect. Who is she fronting for? What is her real motive? Who are her sponsors? If she has any evidence of killings, why is she not presenting such evidence to the panel? If she was so desperate for asylum in any country, does she have to resort to blatant falsehood to tarnish the image of the country just to achieve her aim? In the fullness of time, this lady will be exposed for what she is, a fraud and a front for divisive and destructive forces.
The federal government has maintained its position that all citizens with facts and proofs to approach the panel of inquiry instead of demarcating Nigeria for frivolous reasons. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And that's Panorama this Monday. Many thanks for watching. Please be reminded that the fight against rape and rapists is on. Be a part of it. Good afternoon.